All right, we just learned how to start using our CSS selectors, but there's something interesting that we haven't talked about yet. An essential tool for web developers. It's actually right in front of you. That's right. Inside of Chrome, there are some tools that we can use to make our lives easier and to understand the code that we write clearer. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to join me in your code pen that you've been building. Actually, any website will work, but we'll just stay in our code pen for now. Go ahead and right click on your name, and you'll see a drop down that says inspect, one of the options. Click that option. Notice that this may show up a little bit different for you because of the color of the theme or like where this is, but there should be a shelf that opens up. Yours will probably have like a little update thing. You can just close it right here. But this, my friends, is the Chrome Web Dev Tools. You can get here as well by going to the navigation system in your Chrome and then going to More Tools and Developer Tools. But that is a lot more clicks than just saying right click and inspect element. So what are we looking at? Well, we are looking at the representation of the code that you have been writing. That's right. The browser is understanding the code that we're writing, and we can actually hover over it and see it in action. Now you might be going, well, that's cool, but don't we already have our code over here? Like, what does this do? Like, why is this helpful? Why are you so excited about this? Well, the reality is this is the best place to test ideas and to learn more about your code. Let me show you. So you can see over here, we've got this H1. Well, guess what? You can double click into that. So I can come in here and say like, new person, and hit enter. Notice that I didn't have to adjust my code at all. And in fact, my code is still Josh Nell. But this is showing up as new person until I refresh the browser. So let me show you. I'm going to refresh the browser and you'll see that all my changes get washed away. This is such an excellent tool to try things out and to see how things work. All right, let's go take a look at a real example of how we could use the inspector tool. Go ahead and join me at bloomtech.com. Now, this could change by the time you see this website because websites change. That's the nature of them. So if you don't see exactly what I'm showing you right now, don't fret. Things change. It's okay. But the concepts I'm going to show you don't change. So go ahead and join me. Remember, fingers on keyboard. Let's right click on this heading right here. So it says the online coding school that invests in you. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to hit inspect to get our inspector to pop up like we just did in the previous part of this video. And then I want you to notice that you can actually go into the H1 and you can edit this just like we talked about with the last one. Pretty crazy, right? So I'm going to hit delete and say, I am now king of the world. Ha ha ha. So as you can see, you can really goof around with websites. Now, again, like we talked about in our last example, if I refresh the page, none of this is permanent. So don't fret. We didn't ruin bloomtech.com, but it's really fun to goof around with this stuff because then you can start to learn how your favorite websites work. Maybe you really like other websites. You want to go goof around with them and see what you could change. Also, you notice something interesting that we've got this U over here that didn't change. So I changed all this content here, right? So change. And notice that this U down here is underlined. So what happens if we make that a bigger change? Bigger change. Notice that the underline sticks with it. That's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. So by goofing around with this stuff, you're going to start tinkering and learning more about how this works. Now we're about to jump into some more CSS, and you can actually change the style of these elements as well. So I'm going to go over here and see how this color has a hash symbol. Well, I can come in here and I can make this orange, or I can come in here and make this purple. So you can do basically anything you can do with code, you can do inside the editor. I would also like to note that you can do a lot more with this with JavaScript, but this course does not cover JavaScript. It's just HTML and CSS. Okay, so whenever I talk about this tool inside the course, And whenever I say open up your inspector, this is what I'm talking about. Now remember, you might have a different color scheme. The default might open up with whatever color scheme you have, and you can change that in your editor settings by going to this little gear and then changing the things that you want to change. So you can see the layout and different color formats and all that stuff. So it's up to you. Okay, let's go move on to CSS.